Hello and happy Monday. Welcome to the week we have all been waiting for. This is such an opportune week because we finally have the new moon in Virgo coming up by the end of this week. And a day later, we're going to have Mercury stationing direct. So right now we are all, singing and dancing and ready to have a little party. Now, again, this week it is happening at the end of the week. It's happening Thursday and Friday. That's where all the good stuff goes down. And here we're still in that 3 days of reflection. We have 7 planets in retrograde. That's a lot. And so there's this opportunity. There's a big opportunity this week. I can't say better things about the week and the weekend coming. We're really, really excited about the energy coming up for this coming weekend, and even getting ready for the equinox that follows. So it's still more than a week away, but we're getting into that equinox portal. And of course, today you have 11/11. And so let's just take one moment to reflect on the fact that it's been 20 years. There are people, a lot of changes that have happened in the 20 years since September 11th, 2001, as we're now in 2023. And I, for one, recognize that the world is completely different than it was, and it can never go backwards. And this isn't just the theme for 11/11. This is getting ready to understand how far we've come. Think about specifically technology. Like, I'm here in my living room on a cell phone, talking to people and doing things on Facebook Live. I taught a Zoom class. I teach to people in Egypt, and I have meetings in South Africa and Australia and all of these things. And 20 years ago, that wouldn't have even been possible. And there's big technology that is coming. If you really look at what's happening astrology-wise, you can count on the fact that we're going to be making an energetic and quantum leap in the next few years. The astrology for 2024 and 2025 is the real deepening of the presence of the age of Aquarius. And it is going to look even more different going forward. And psychically, I've been getting a lot of hits to have myself and everybody around me, and that includes you, if you're listening, be energetically prepared for the fact that we're making a new world and things will not look the same. So like, if you look at where the world was 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and you are energetically ready for it to start speeding up at that rapidness. What I'm saying about this 7 planets in retrograde is it's a review. This is review in Virgo. So right now, the major planet is Virgo. Mercury's one of its home sign. Mercury is in retrograde in Virgo, which is Virgo rules Mercury, Virgo and Gemini. So right now, where is your communication? How do you want to communicate? How do you want to live your life going forward? And Virgo is all about systems. Virgo is about your health. So all these other planets that are happening, you're going to be having this grand trine later in the week in earth signs. So Taurus and money and Virgo and communication and health. And you're going to see the desire to create something big in your life. And so there's also this opportunity for a quantum leap. And so right now, especially these 3 days, right before a new moon, we call that a dark moon, we are in review. And it is super important to tie up loose ends right now. Virgo is all about tidying things up. It's all about getting real with your health. And it's about creating the system and the life you want to lead. And you know, that means if you've been putting off going to the gym, go to the gym. If it's been putting off cleaning up your house, clean up your house. If it's been putting off eating right, eat right. If you've been saying, I'm going to start this particular business process, this is the week to do it. Even though people say, oh, I'm not going to do it because of all the retrogrades. One thing that is clear is we're going to have retrogrades for the rest of 2023. So while I might wait until after this Friday, I would start things Friday, Saturday, or next week, I wouldn't wait much longer than that. So get aligned with who you're becoming. Get aligned with the calibration of what you really, really want and desire. And for some of us, things we already know to do, there's a reset. Like all the things you know you should be doing, and all the things you want to be doing, and all the things you know support you, it's the beginning of that season of just do it. I mean, I hate to sound like Nike, but just do it. Stop your resistance. This is how you can collapse time. There's one new moon before we start the eclipse cycle. So this is the last of the new moons that support the season of 4 supermoons. So if you've been looking at what you're calling in all summer long, this is the just do it moment. This is the align, calibrate, and just get started. And the only way you're going to build a foundation right now is to actually put down a stone. You've been thinking about it for quite some time. Now is time to put the bricks down. It's time to pour the concrete. It's time to make one simple step. You don't have to do it all. So here's the other thing about what I'm saying is take that last bit of review over these next few days and actually start living in the frequency of the version of you that already is. And if you listen to me at all and have been, this is something I've talked about time and time again, but it's really important. We're going to need to close the chapter on the past. You don't want to wake up in the morning and be telling the story of your past. I really, really give you this gift. If you can ever do one thing for yourself, is to let go of the resentment, let go of the anger, give your ultimate forgiveness to everything. It's called radical forgiveness or radical acceptance, because the law of humility says you cannot change anything you haven't first accepted. The law of forgiveness says that once you forgive something, you are set free and you move past karma now. With this new ascension timeline, you don't have to constantly be in the karmic loop of your ancestors or your family members or your past lives. You literally can move forward without fear. And so this is a statement I use over and over again in my work. I've said it over and over again this weekend with my clients and my students. I forgive you, and this can be said to yourself, to a situation, to another person, dead or alive, someone that's in your life or someone you're just saying it subconsciously to that's long gone. I forgive you for not being who or what I needed you to be. I forgive you and I set you free. And this comes from Louise Hay. It's been in her very first book. It's in the very first chapter of You Can Heal Your Life. So this has been around for 55 years, this exact sentence, and I use it over and over and over again. If I could give you a gift on a silver platter, it is to go through anything and everything. I have shivers of truth. Anything and everything you need to forgive and let go. I mean, Disney has the whole movie. Let it go, let it go. This is your let it go moment. This is the way to quantum leap here, everybody, is to not be reviewing the past, reliving the story of the past, giving the past a thought or an energy. It is to align with and get super focused, super humanly focused, super quantumly obsessed with who and what you're becoming. Align with what it is you desire and make that more important than any other story, and write that story. Live that frequency. You don't have to wait to be the thing. You have to become the energy of having. And that's through gratitude practices of giving gratitude for what you do have. You can't be in lack and gratitude at the same time. It's for setting intentions and just doing it. It's simple but not easy to just do the thing. And to get so hyper focused on what it takes to become or to be or to exist in the frequency and the state of being that is your goal, that you forget the past, that you are living now in the future and present moment. This magical moment that this entire fall season is going to be an opportunity to claim. It's a claiming of sorts. It's an alignment of sorts. It's I am that I am that I am that I am. And I know that I know that I know that I know. These are feelings that have to be that forward motion. As all these planets are in retrograde, your job isn't to be thinking about the past. Your job is to be aligning with your highest potential timeline. And by this, I mean, I just watched this movie, and there's a movie called Choose Love on Netflix. It's a lot of fun. If anybody has some time, I'm gonna give it. It's cheesy, so don't like think you're gonna get like big quantum leap messages. And yet, there's something about it, which is this opportunity to choose different endings, to choose what the character does, and it's different algorithms. You choose this, and one of the things that I learned or reiterated about quantum timelines, it's such a good example, is every decision has a different outcome, right? And so there is no completely wrong choice except to not choose. I found this very interesting when you were using the remote. If you did not choose, there was an obvious choice that it just went on without you choosing if you didn't hit the remote. And I thought, oh, then I no longer have a choice. It just goes on. Life will go on if you don't make a choice. But if you want what you want, make a choice and take the action. It's a law of the universe I already knew, but this was such a perfect, simple example of there's going to be all these different endings, and I get to choose the ending, but I have to take the action to get the ending I want. So if you are aligning with your highest timeline, you are choosing, what do I really want and what's going to get me there? What is my heart's desire? And that's this week. If you do nothing else, you can journal it, you can think it, you can meditate on it, you can talk to your friends and family about it. It's an incredible time to actually be like, hey, what are you thinking right now? What do you want right now? And let's all get on the same page so we're creating intentionally the future we want to create as a group, as we want, instead of just being at default or just being at somebody else wants something else more than I want what I want, or I'm just letting another person's wants and desires take me in their algorithm and I'm caught up in it. Instead, get really, really hyper focused on the version of you as you see it, smell it, taste it, feel it. So it is so real that all you can do is have gratitude. All you have left is this truth in your heart and in your mind. And then the actions and the choices are a no-brainer. You're just already in the zone. This is right here on the table right now. And this is how we're going to make this quantum leap. This is how we're going to get to the next version of you. It is not, I'm going to tell you this as an astrologer, as a psychic, as a prediction to the future that is inevitable. The world is not going to look the same. It is not going to look the same a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. But you might. If you don't get out of the story of your past, you may not be going with it. You'll be in it. You'll be in the world and of the world, and things are going to change around you. But do you want to be at cause, or do you want to be at effect in your life? The law of attraction is going to bring things to you, open up magical doors if you decide you want to be at cause. But it's not just thinking about what you want, it is also taking aligned action. So that's this Virgo going into this new moon. Virgo in this new moon is deciding with clarity, deciding with your truth. All these things you have wanted, it's time then to put the plan into action, to make a little bit of effort and a little bit of choice, and live super hyper focused on the future present moment, the now into the very next step. Not even so much 10 steps from now, but what's the next step I can be making toward my highest timeline? If the version of me is already this, like the version of me who is doing this exact thing, what would they have to do? Well, maybe they would have to get up earlier. Maybe they would have to go to the gym. I mean, there's a part of me that knows that I know that I want to hike Mount Sinai. Today, if I were put at the bottom of Mount Sinai, I could not hike to the top with the way my knees and my ankle and my foot is, but I can already see myself walking to the top of that mountain. And so I have to take some cause to go with that effect. And that includes, a couple of weeks ago, I bought the right shoes and I go to the gym and I take the walking into account. So what is it I need to do to be ready to hike that mountain? So it's the visualization, but it's also putting myself into the future present me that can and will and does. And what does she do? Well, she books herself. I've booked myself at the gym on Wednesday. I've got these times and these plans, and I just have to be in the action of it. I have to go ahead and say, yes, I will book that trip. Yes, I will do. There's the yes factor of the just doing it, and doing it for you because you are worthy and you are deserving. And it's just that aligned action. And I know there's a lot going on this month. We've got the equinox coming up. We have a lot of really beautiful things that will be supporting us. Do not be afraid right now. In fact, I'm going to tell you to get excited again. This is the time to realign with your dreams and make that quantum leap, make that quantum jump. And if you've been thinking about taking me up on my offer to come to Priestess Camp at the end of this month, and you want some help making these quantum leaps and really putting the past in the past and ritualizing creating the future that you desire under this full supermoon that's coming. And yes, it's going to be a potent, powerful supermoon in 2 weeks. I have a few spaces left in Priestess Camp. That's with me and Rima, and of course Marissa will be there. And I just got done talking to the caterer, which is so exciting. I love creating these special events. There's this beautiful retreat center right here in Orlando, Florida, in the Altamont Springs area. And I do have a few partial scholarships and payment plans. If you're looking at it and you're like, I need help to go to Priestess Camp, please get a hold of me. I want you to be able to go. If you want to be at Priestess Camp, it's a 2-night, 3-day event in Central Florida that is meant to help you move through the initiations and anoint yourself as a priestess and be immersed in this next level version of you. Please get a hold of me. I would love to see you there. In the meantime, this week is the big new moon. So Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, you can start really setting those new moon intentions. So I'm a big proponent for writing it out as you go to bed on Thursday, or creating a candle or a crystal grid. And of course, with Mercury stationing direct the following day, you're gonna feel like the new moon is really all day on Friday. So Friday should have this lightning. It might even feel better as you get into the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Perfect zone for being in the zone. So the new moon, Mercury goes direct, and it's all a Virgo extravaganza. So you should, just to review, if you're popping on late, review over the next few days, get aligned, do some letting go, and really get aligned and be in the state of being of this is already mine come Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I'll see you again next Monday for my share on the autumn equinox. Of course, one of my favorite days of the entire year is the equinox, and we'll be talking about that next week. So in the meantime, I love you. Happy new moon, and live magically.